at Old Bridge Farm with Bill Lauer, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about alpacas and chickens and the benefits of sustainable living. So here we are again in my backyard, and I hope you'll join us. Let's go. So you have how many alpacas here?
There's 13.
13. And so how much food would 13 alpacas eat?
Well, they go through about a bale a day.
Uh-huh. So that's really not much for 13
I have to
animals.
check to make sure that's locked.
Yeah.
Because if it's open the least little bit, they'll go right through it.
Right. So now why do you have these guys separated? Because
Well, these are the males.
Yep.
Those are the females. Those two are the adolescent males. So I don't want to intermix because they'll start breeding.
Right.
And I don't want that to happen.
And do you have any that have been bred already? That are
Yes, some of the females are bred.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Whether or not they still are, I don't know. But
so these guys, we don't want to get anybody mixed up here, right? I'll make sure that this is locked. So these are the adolescent males.
These are little boys.
Yeah. And what age are they like? They're like 12, 13-year-olds?
Well, in human terms, they would be like 12 or 13-year-old boy.
And what makes them that age? Are they, don't be spitting on us.
She's not going to spit. I'm here. I'll protect you.
So what do they do when they're 12 or 13 years old?
Well, what they do is pretty much just what any alpaca does. But you don't want to mix them with the big males because the big males will beat them up.
Okay.
So you don't want that to happen.
Okay. It's just like chickens. You don't want to put chickens in with older ones with a little baby.
Well, you can do that. You can do that.
Yeah.
You don't want to put little chicks in with full-grown chickens.
That's what I'm saying. Right.
Because they'll peck.
Right.
And you don't want to put these little boys in with the females because they'll pester them.
Okay.
And you don't want that to happen. So
everybody's got their little places here.
They do.
Okay. So we're going to feed the alpacas. Now, how much does each one get? Do they get like a flake?
Well,
and
here, let me.
Some people might not know what a flake of hay is either.
Let me show you.
Some of those city folk.
They're ready to eat. They're hungry, so.
Yeah. Listen to them. They're so cute. They sound like little dolls.
Could you hold it?
I will. And on another show, you learned how to make belts out of the twine. Okay. So they're going to be happy campers now. And do they eat anything else? You have
They do. They get rations of grain every day.
Yep. And how much water do they drink?
Well, it depends on the heat. If it's very hot, they'll drink a lot.
Yeah. But they're warm climate animals, so they probably don't drink all. No, they're not.
No,
but I thought they were. Aren't they from? Is it Chile?
High elevations in South America, Chile,
right.
Which can get quite cool.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because they have cold nights. Right. Right.
They don't like heat.
No. Okay. And would they shear them? Would they shear them when they were in the native countries?
Yes, they shear them once a year in native countries.
Yeah. And now what has to happen with these guys? They get sheared, and do their hoofs need to be trimmed at all?
They do. Their hoofs will continually grow. And you want to keep them short.
Yeah. And teeth, they have, look at that arm.
That's what I do every morning.
They have teeth that have to be cut down too, or?
Yes, their teeth will grow, and they'll start looking funny because they'll have like these long teeth in the front.
Like, buck teeth.
Yeah, and you don't want that to happen, so you keep the teeth short.
Yeah, and how many teeth do they have in their mouths? I mean, like, it looks like they don't have like a full set like we would have.
No. Well, interestingly enough, let me see if I can.
It's okay, boy. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
If you look.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Well, maybe we won't look, but.
See how they have teeth on the bottom?
Yep.
And a plate on top?
Right. And so they eat from the bottom or from the top?
Look at their top.
Oh, it's like nothing. It's just a.
See that?
Like, you're right. It's just a plate.
It's a plate.
Wow, it looks like a tongue almost, but yeah. So all
That's
they
what
do
they
is
have.
eat from the bottom, really. They just kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh, I never realized that. Good boy. What a good boy. Yeah. So the things that you have to do to finish up here, this is your daily chores. You have to water, you have to clean them up, but they don't really take all that much care, right?
No,
So
no,
if
they're
people-
very easy keepers.
So if people wanted to have alpacas, what would they do?
Well,
Because there's only so many alpacas in the United States, right? Because at a certain time, they cut off any more imports of alpacas, from what I understand.
they're not, you can import alpacas, but you can't register that animal.
Okay.
The only animals that are registered are the animals that are bred in the United States.
Yep. Okay.
And it's important that they're registered because, you know, that's, well, if they're registered, they're worth money.
Right.
If they're not,
They're a pet.
they're a pet. You
Yeah.
get, you know, you get their wonderful fleece
Yeah. Yeah.
every year. So
So you said you have some fleece in the barn?
I do. You want
Okay.
me to?
Yeah. So let's take a look at the fleece. You want to just go get?
Yeah,
go get
just
it?
go get a
Okay.
bag.
All right. Wow. So you had like quite a few bags of fleece in there.
Yeah, they produce a good amount of fiber.
Yeah.
And you know, try this here. Let me show you guys what's going on.
And there's all kinds of different colors that are just natural, blacks and browns and tans, and yeah, that is beautiful.
Very, very
Oh my
soft
gosh.
and very warm.
Yeah, that looks like socks to me.
Could be socks. Yeah.
Could be
yeah.
a sweater. Oops.
Yeah, sweater.
Yeah, yeah. And there's different parts of the animal that are softer than others too, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
The back, around the back of the animal, is the best part of the fiber. That's considered the blanket.
Yeah.
And
I would
well,
assume that must be because they don't really sit on it a whole lot or get a lot of fibers.
well,
and such.
that's where they want to conserve the most heat, because these animals come from areas that gets very cold in the winter, and you know, it's important that they conserve their heat, and you know, that's where they want to conserve it the most. You know, of course, the head. If you look at the head, they got, it's called a top knot,
Yep. Little
and
hats.
they got like little, yeah, they're like little hats, and
So I never realized that was why they kept it long. I thought it was just kind of cute, like you do a poodle or whatever. But there is a reason that you keep that a little bit longer.
well, it actually was shorter a couple of weeks ago. It
Yeah.
grows pretty fast,
Yeah,
you know,
it does. It does.
on the head, but.
Yeah. Wow.
but-
So, anything else that we need to know about alpacas, Bill?
Well, they're great, great animals. They're fantastic to keep. I mean, I love the things. And I'm, you
Don't
know,
cry, Bill.
I'm getting choked up here. But I really like them. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, they're so easy. They don't eat a lot. You know, they're very hardy animals. They don't get sick. You know, and they all have, like, you know, different personalities. And I mean, they're just fantastic. Every night they'll do this thing. It's called pronking. And what they do is they jump around and run around the pasture every night, right around the same time. And you know, it's fun to watch that. And they're very calming. They have a calming effect on
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
As far as pets go, they make great pets.
Yeah. And they're smaller than a llama, so
Yes.
they are a little bit easier to move around a little bit. But you can see they're very strong. You know, when you were holding-
They're strong animals.
Right, right.
Yeah, they don't look that strong,
Yeah.
but they are.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Now, do you have any for sale? Usually, you know, do you continuously have alpacas for sale?
I have all my animals are for sale,
Yeah.
priced accordingly. You know,
Right.
some I want to hold on to
Right,
right now.
because you want to have breeding.
Yeah, I have a kind of a small
Yeah.
herd, so I don't want to. I don't want to get rid of all my
Right.
breeding animals. You
Right.
know, I want to keep them and
So,
breed more.
how many did you start with?
I started with 2.
2, and these are all pretty much from that, and then you probably brought
all from the
some
initial
other stock
2.
in. Yeah.
All from the initial 2.
Mm-hmm.
The gray one over there, the male,
Yeah.
is an additional one that I got with the 2. But other than that,
Yeah.
all these were propagated
Yeah.
from the first 2 that I had.
Right. Right. And from what I understand, just because you breed 2 whites, you're not going to get a white.
That's correct.
You might get anything.
That's correct.
Yeah.
You could breed a white to a white, and if they have a predisposition for black,
Right.
you could end up with a black.
And
or
I've seen
vice
some
versa.
that have little spots on them sometimes too. You know, not so many of them.
They
but
do. You don't want spots on a blanket.
Right, right.
That's because it's considered a fault.
Right.
So, you know, if it has a little spot on its head or, you know, on its leg or something like that, that's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but no, great animals.
Yeah.
They really are.
Yeah.
As you can see, they're very quiet.
They are.
They
They're
do a little
beautiful.
humming thing from time to time.
Yeah.
And, you know, that one, Miss Spitty over there, she does a little spitting thing from time to time because she's got the baby there, and
So she's protecting
protecting it.
Yeah. Yep.
And but other than that, they really don't spit.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll spit at each other, and you might get caught in a crossfire.
Right.
So you know, you got to be able to do this from time to time.
Yeah.
For this.
Keep your ears open. So we've got more to feed today. We got to go down and feed the chickens, and I want to take a look at your chicken coop because it has some really nice designs.
Okay, before we do that, let me
Okay.
empty that old water because they're going to rush right over and drink.
Okay, fill up
So-
your water and I'll get ready to go. So I know you've got to feed the chickens, but we're going to let the chickens out first, correct?
Yeah, we got to let them out. They're free-range chickens,
Uh-huh.
so they have pretty much full use of the entire farm.
Okay, so let me chime in on something. Free-range chickens. Okay, I mentioned this a little bit in the beginning of the show. You know, you've got all of those chickens that we buy eggs in the stores, and I see that they say free-range on them. So what's the difference?
Well, the difference is the birds that I have are pasture-fed. So in other words, they'll go around and eat worms and grass and little bugs and all that kind of stuff that they really like.
So they live on a beautiful farm.
Yes.
Yes.
And they'll spend the whole day looking for food. And it's those things are the type of food that makes the egg so good and gives you all the antioxidants that you really need.
Right. So when you buy eggs in the store, they're not really bright orange or yellow.
Correct.
And the yolks are kind of, you know, they're just there. But when you have an egg that you take out of your chicken coop, that you can also have chickens at home, that egg is beautiful.
Yeah,
it's
and you know
light
why?
and fluffy and bright orange.
Right,
and, it
and that's
tastes
important
Great.
because that egg is full of the great things that the earth produces.
Right.
Whereas the eggs you buy from the store,
Right.
they have some grain and the same food every day to make the chicken grow fast and lay eggs quick and be productive. And
So the thing that you have to think about is in our world, not everybody can have free-range chickens. So, I mean, we have so many people to feed that they've got to do something, and so they mass produce them because that's what we do with a lot of our food is we mass produce because we got a lot of people to feed. But if we can make a choice and have chickens of our own or have alpacas of our own or animals of our own or have a garden, we can make a difference in our lives, and it's not that hard.
well, you want to try to be self-sustaining, even if it's in just a little portion of your life, because it'll be better for you, it'll be better for the world, it'll be better for everything.
Right.
So, you know,
Yeah.
you can make a difference.
Yeah. So we're the ladies and the gen.
Well, they're inside the coop right now, and they're itching to get out. So I really got to let them out.
All right. Are
Because
you guys ready?
the longer they stay in, the madder the rooster gets.
Right. And the rooster's pretty big too.
Well, you don't want to see this rooster because he's just a heck of a thing.
You guys are lucky to be at home. Here we go. One, two, three, four. Look at those pretty ladies. Now, are these reds? Is that what they call
They're
them?
golden comets.
And they lay brown eggs?
Yes, they lay nice big brown eggs.
Oh, they look so, they are so happy now.
Yeah. Now, as you can see, they're the first thing they do is they go right for the water bucket because they like nice fresh water.
Yes, yep,
So
I've
that's what they're
noticed that.
doing. Now, the rooster is here, and he's trying to figure out who he can get. And he's looking at the cameraman, so
So tell me a little bit, while we're waiting for all these chickens to come out, tell me a little bit about your chicken coop. What did you do here?
well, I built a chicken coop. The chicken coop is a Amish design, and I have to say that one thing the Amish were good at is designing chicken coops because it's totally secure. You don't have to worry about any animals getting in and decimating your chicken population. And it's so easy to get the eggs out because everything is accessible by the outside door.
Right. This is great here because this is where you get your eggs.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. The chickens actually lay eggs inside these little boxes.
Yeah. And you use these wooden covers over the boxes because they've got probably what, like 6 or 8 inches in there?
Yeah, they have
Okay.
just enough room to lay the eggs, and you know, they feel very secure in there, which is good.
Yeah.
And it really works out great.
And the other thing I like about these too is by having this little cover, you don't have to worry about the chickens jumping out while you're going and getting the eggs.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So, you know, I think just like everything, you know, if you think about what you want in your chicken coop or in your farm, you'll get to where you need to go. But you just need to plan ahead because somebody didn't just say, okay, I'm going to build a house and I'm not going to give them a floor. I'm not going to put a place where they can roost. You know, you've really thought out a lot of stuff here.
Right. Well, the important thing is when you're starting a farm like this, is research. You want to research things before you actually go about and do it. And it's pretty much with anything in life.
Right.
You know, you want to do something, you know, that requires work, a lot of work maybe, research it. I mean, today's day and age, you get on a computer, you key up a few words, and you can research pretty much anything you want.
Right.
So
There's so much information out there.
yeah, I'm lucky enough that I'm handy, and from a picture I built this. I didn't have any plans, or and I designed everything in my head,
Yep.
just from pictures of the coop that they build. And you know, I changed a few things here and there. It's not an exact copy. You know, certain things that I like example, the lids over the nesting boxes. That's my own design.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's a good idea. And then the windows are nice because you can open them and you've got screens here,
Yes,
so you get ventilation.
you get ventilation and light,
Yeah.
which is important.
Right.
Chickens need, when they start laying, they need light. The more light they get, the more eggs they lay.
Right. Right.
So
and
light
it
is
really
important.
is amazing because that's why sometimes in the winter you'll have a light on in the coop
Right.
to extend their day because if it gets too dark or cold, they just pretty much stop laying.
Yeah,
and
well, yeah, they'll slow down.
slow right down.
Yep.
Right. Right. So what is it that you like most about your coop here?
Well, I probably the favorite thing I like about the coop is, well, two things. First of all, it's very secure. You're not going to get foxes going in or coyotes getting in. It's just impossible. You know, unless they have a skill saw, an electric saw, they're not going to be able to get in through the coop. And I like the fact that you're able to get the eggs out so easily every day. My son actually does it. That's his chore.
Yeah.
Although sometimes he shirks on his responsibility. Now, Dylan, if you're watching this, I want you to get the eggs more often.
Well, we have our little granddaughter that comes down and she comes in and picks out the eggs out of our
That's
coop
good.
too.
Yeah, you know,
it's a fun thing. You know,
Yep.
kids don't realize now, you know, we grew up with some of this, but kids don't realize now that food just doesn't show up in a grocery store. You know, you can actually grow your own and it can
That's
be
correct.
fun. You know, you
Yes.
can have a garden. You guys have a garden. The chicken poop or the alpaca poop is great fertilizer for the
Everything is used in the compost. Nothing is wasted. It's all part of the self-sustainability.
garden. Right.
You know, I mean, everything that comes out of the livestock, the chickens, makes vegetables grow like crazy.
Right.
And you want to save everything.
Right, and you know, in another show we'll talk about how your gardens have been growing because you've got tomatoes and all kinds of stuff started, ready to go into the gardens.
I do.
Yeah. So, but I think we're probably towards the end of our show. So I'm sorry. We'll have to ask you to come back again for another topic.
Well, that's not a problem.
Yeah. So today we've been in my backyard with Bill. And Bill, do you build these for other people? Or are these just for yourself?
No, I build them for other people as well. Different sizes, different styles, but the same basic style.
Yeah.
You know, it depends on exactly what they want. Some people want them for 6 chickens. Some people want them for 30 chickens.
Right,
So.
right. So if you're interested in learning more about chicken coops, you can stop by and see Bill. You can email us and we'll get you in touch with him if you'd like. Our email address is inmybackyardch8@gmail.com. And get started. I mean, you don't need much room, honestly, to have a chicken coop, and you can make your life so much better and healthier. So thank you very much for joining us today.
That was my pleasure.
All right, and we'll see you again in my backyard.